non-fungible idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. The non-fungible idiots will live in the dream. We're all over zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Hello, my friends. Hello. Good to see you, fellas. Welcome to the motherfucking afternoon show. What a fucking day, man. What a day. Like,
We are so back.
I was so all that bull talk yesterday fucked us. I was expecting to be in bull mode. I was ready for it. I declared NFTs back. The run's here. Everything's different this time, and yet it is not. We got a lot to talk about today. But first, guys, welcome. Great to see you. That goes for everybody watching here, and of course, Joe and Henry. Where are you looking at, Joe? Where are you?
You try this new thing where I look at the screen.
I like it. I like it.
Camera 3.
Hey, everybody, what's going on, y'all?
Shit, I love it. Guys, smash the like. Share this sweet baby today. We're not streaming from the Crypto Slam account, so you got to share out the SlamX show. Henry, I'll drop you the link. But share this shit out. We got some important stuff to talk about. It is actually it's an important day, and I think it is. If I said yesterday was a milestone day for the NFT market on our, bull run 24-25, today is as important, maybe more. Of course, I'm talking about the SEC serving a Wells notice to OpenSea saying, you're selling some securities, boys. You cannot do that. Apparently, you can't do that. You can't sell unregistered securities, and apparently OpenSea's been doing a lot of that. So
Allegedly.
Oh, that's a good point. Allegedly. So we got to talk about that. Token, great to see you. Marty, GM's Jeekles. Hello, sir. All you guys, great to see you.
What's up, Jeekles?
Truthfully, I got to be totally honest. There's actually a bigger story right now. I don't know if you could even guess what it is.
I can.
You can?
Yeah.
And
NVIDIA.
Oh, did that actually happen?
It just happened. They beat expectations. Send it!
Fuck yeah, we're back, baby.
But no, what's bigger is orbs.
What's bigger is orbs. Henry fucking nailed it. Henry nailed it. Orb Man. Fucking Orb Man, Ashton Forbes, live with Viva Frey right now. Viva Frey? What? It's that guy. Live with Viva Frey, talking orbs, exposing a more mainstream audience about orbs, exposing the world to wormholes, teleportation tech. By the way, I got much deeper into the alien shit with that guy. I forget his name, with a book coming out. We won't stay on this long.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, there's some stuff in that book. Again, guys, we won't do much alien talk today because the crypto, the NFT stuff's kind of a big deal. But dude, apparently, this goes back like 15, almost 20 years. There was an encounter kind of thing that happened in like Iraq or Afghanistan. You know those Abrams tanks? They're like the strongest tanks in the world. Yeah. Like as far as armor, they're armored the fuck up. Yeah. Have you heard the story?
No.
Something punched a hole through multiple of them. And they're designed to withstand missiles and shit. So, like, this army dude calls over Pentagon guys like, dude, check this out. And there's literally a perfect circle that goes through one side, out the other, in through another tank, out the other side. Like, what the fuck could even do that? And somebody saw this glowy green orb shortly before. Those tanks were sent back to the States to a government facility to inspect and analyze and all that stuff. And it ties into this bigger idea that these things actually do harm. They actually have hurt people. Some military guys have actually died after encounters with these things. So that stuff's definitely
Greg, we're not going to be talking about this very long. Just so you know, guys, we're leading with it. We're leading with it, but
it's a hot story. That's it. Okay, we can move on.
No, let's continue. Let's go. I don't like this whole talking to the side thing. What do you guys think?
I like seeing this other perspective on you. Honestly, I think it's a good look. Hey, Joe.
Hello.
Hey.
There's actually nothing over there. I was pretending to talk to the screen.
You fucking maniac. God, Joe. Fucking maniac. I love it. All right, well, let's get into the meat. You know, the story is OpenSea. NVIDIA happening makes me want to check crypto real quick, but the story again, and it came this morning as I'm hyped as fuck to get my show started this morning and tell everybody why I'm so bullish. I was ready to sing. I was ready to sing about NFTs, and then we get the news again. SEC, Wells notice, OpenSea going, we're shocked, and I don't know, man. Regardless, Bitcoin not looking phenomenal, even with the NVIDIA earnings. I wonder if the
20 minutes. It's been about 20 minutes since the news was broken.
Normally that shit leaks early, and you just start seeing something. I am wondering if what's going on with Telegram and the effect over there in the TON blockchain. Guys, the blockchain went down yesterday. It went down again today, like probably an hour and a half ago. I think there's a lot more going on right now. I really do. You know, tinfoil hat went on earlier this week. Yeah. It stays on. The tinfoil hat remains on. I think there's more.
The hat stays on.
Hat stays on. The tinfoil hat stays on. I think there's more going on. I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. There's some fuckery going on. But anyway, you see crypto here. Bitcoin 59K, ETH 2,500, Solana 143. It's not a great day. Solana's down 7% on the day. It's not a good day. It's not. With that said, we got to chew on this for a bit. This is the big deal. This started with Devin Finzer. He is founder CEO of OpenSea. Stating OpenSea's received a Wells notice from the SEC threatening to sue us because they believe NFTs on our platform are securities. We could almost break this down line by line. I did that earlier. I want your guys' perspective on this, but starting there, everybody has got their opinion, their take, everybody's engagement farming, everyone's doing their thing talking about this thing. I can't believe you're calling art a security. I can't believe you're calling Pokemon cards a security. Like, everybody's going that direction, which is stupid as fuck. I think people know what they're doing. I think people are inferring a thing that the SEC is not. But breaking down that line, do you take this as blanket? NFTs are securities? Because that's what people are saying, and I don't buy it, and I think it's a stupid narrative, and I think it's one to nip in the bud immediately. NFTs on the platform are securities. What do they mean by that?
I think the SEC's broad look on NFTs is that a lot of them are securities. I don't think it means all of them are securities, but I think their broad take is that a lot are.
A lot.
So I think, again, I don't think it's like broad brush everything is, but like if one is, that's enough for them to issue a Wells, which, by the way, comes after a long time. This isn't to Marty's point. No, I don't think their Wells notice had anything to do with Trump NFT cards. I think it has more to do with the fiscal year ending end of September.
Oh, interesting.
And that when they go through these things, that they have timelines that they have to stay within. And they obviously didn't reach a point with OpenSea that they came to any sort of like joint conclusion that like, hey, we're going to settle with the SEC. They chose to fight with the SEC. And so that's the next step, is that they issue a Wells. So
is that how it works? You think they were talking to OpenSea and they just could not come to some kind of agreement?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
100% certainty. This isn't a surprise to OpenSea.
So them coming out, this was one of my problems right from the get-go. What was Devin's reply was it this one? We're shocked. We're shocked. Were they really shocked?
There's an open secret. It's the worst kept secret. It's like the worst secret out there that not everyone is being just fucking hammered by behind the scenes by like Wells notices and all sorts of shit. I mean, like, it's just the next in the line of stuff. Worst kept secret. It's kind of like, you know, Henry hitting up the clubs and around his neighborhood. It's like everyone knows it's the worst kept secret out there. And you know, we're just so, what's that?
Which clubs?
The Jackhammer. There's one called the Jackhammer. The Deep Dark Hole.
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
And then we don't know. There's not enough goddamn. There's not enough information or guidance on what everything is and what everything isn't, and it's just they're fucking shooting. They're just shooting blanks here, and it's fucking annoying, and it's causing too much of a disturbance within the force, and I don't like it. There needs to be balance.
I think there's things that we do know. I think when I say there's things we do know, I think this isn't a surprise. I think we've talked of the day of reckoning coming. I think there's going to be my over under before end of September is that we'll hear from at least like 3 more of these types of actions. That's my over under 3. But I assume this has been going on for a bit. I don't think they're shocked. But they're going to say they're shocked, and I'm sure they're just shocked that they couldn't present to the SEC something that seemed viable to the SEC, as far as like, no, these aren't securities. This is digital art. This is because in the end, we know. Look at Stoner Cats, unregistered sales of securities, Section 5 violation. They were accused of it. They settled. It doesn't mean that it is or that it isn't. It just means like that's their take on it.
Yeah,
and I think one of the
there's known knowns and then there's known unknowns.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's actually true.
Thank you.
And because we don't have legislation, then what we get is rulemaking from the SEC based on, laws that were written a long ass time ago. And it's pretty loose. Like it's very loose, their interpretation of things.
When they charge somebody like Stoner Cats, and the Stoner Cats settle, does that all of a sudden become like a precedent-setting thing that they can use to reference like for future litigation, future charges?
No, it's not precedent. So it's only legal precedence if you actually go to court and it becomes law.
Okay.
When I say becomes law, there's case law behind it. But no, but that doesn't mean that they don't use that same justification for the next one and the next one and the next one because they haven't been proven otherwise.
Yeah. You ever heard that? They're like, yeah, have you looked back at, Henry versus, Stoner Cats or something like that? They'll like reference that sort of like case. It has to be a case that goes and has and is settled before they're,
But like Stoner Cats made $7-8 million and they got fined $1 million.
Yeah, they didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to.
That's it. Okay.
I think OpenSea has when I say a bigger issue, I think the issue with the marketplace is that KYC AML standards, they don't have any. So that starts getting into like the Bank Secrecy Act. I don't want to say fraud charges, but that can go in that direction to say like, there's no KYC, there's no AML. You're not a registered broker dealer. And you're selling unregistered securities. And I think marketplaces are far more open to that type of scrutiny because like we just don't have great laws or a way for them. They would argue otherwise. They would say like that the Treasury Department and DOJ has laws for being a money transmitter, which when I say they are, I'm not saying they are, but you could make an argument. They accept money. They take a cut from it. They transfer the NFT. Like they can argue, well, it's all happening on chain, whatever the case may be technically, but it's not a surprise, I guess.
I guess what's trickier for a marketplace too is, okay, Stoner Cats settle. I don't know if it counts as losing, but SEC then probably still looks at Stoner Cats as a security. I'm assuming, or that they were selling securities, but point there, and you can poke holes in this after. If SEC thought they were I'll say a security, then OpenSea has been selling or allowing those securities to be sold on their platform, making royalties, making that 2% fee on all those trades over the years. And then you can start seeing why OpenSea becomes a target, because we're assuming it's not just Stoner Cats and it's not just the founder's key, but it's probably all kinds of other NFTs that the SEC is targeting.
Well, first of all, let me just say one thing. Fuck Gary Gensler.
Whoa.
Joe, that language is harsh. I don't know if
Let me just say
I don't know
that
if I was prepared for that.
there are known knowns and there are known unknowns, but there is one known that is known, and that is fuck that dude.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
You know those crypto bro fights, the boxing stuff like BitBoy and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Would you challenge Gary Gensler to a boxing match?
God, it would be MMA. It wouldn't be boxing. I mean, I don't have any boxing experience, but I'm pretty sure even though I have zero boxing experience, I have been in fights before, and I would just ruin that guy. I would tie him in a fucking.
Imagine if he was just a dog. He just came out, ripped off his shirt, and
That'd
he
be
was
awesome.
like, his guard game was on point.
Yeah.
His ground game was on point.
Hey, if your guard game is on point, that's great, dude, because you're going to be on your back and I'm going to be swinging for the fences. So if he pulls guard on me, he's done. You know what I mean? Like I'm hoping that he pulls guard on me.
I heard he's got a good submission rate.
Well, that's fine. If he does, he's got that old man wiry strength. That's fine. That's fine. I'll take one for the team. I think I have the best chances of beating Gensler. So we'll just see what happens.
You look like you got some fight to you, to be honest. You do.
If I lose,
my money's on Joe. My money's on Joe.
Definitely.
I lose, guys.
You
I lose.
fuck him up.
If I lose, I step away in shame out of the space and never come back.
What if it's like a fight for the soul of NFTs and crypto? You win, they leave crypto and NFTs alone. Gary wins, and he's gonna give it his all, dude. He's gonna fight fucking dirty. But Gary wins, NFTs, crypto's fucked. It's all illegal.
It would be kind of like that whole like Elon Musk Zuckerberg fight where like he hires the greatest MMA team, but it's only like for a month and a half, and so like he has to try to train really hard. But I think that if we got a couple of months in there, he wouldn't stand a chance.
That's amazing. It's a fight, and we need to see it.
I would be willing. I'd be willing to do it, guys.
Dude, I think Cuban would be on your team too. He's calling out Gensler. Gensler screws up again. I like that comment. I'm not a fan of everything Cuban has to say. I mean, I guess that's a stupid thing to say. I'm not a fan of everything anybody has to say, I guess. But anyway, I like this. I do like this. Gensler screws up again. Cuban, right. He's right. It's a big fuck up. I think we need to hear more. Jeekles, what's Jeekles saying here? SEC going after OpenSea as they can gain the most money out of them rather than going after individual projects. I wonder how much it's about the money and how much it's about proving a point and sometimes low-hanging fruit, which are the cases that you can prove easily. Like, if they've already said other projects are securities and they've kind of won those, it's easier to win against OpenSea to a degree.
Well, you don't win if if they settle. I mean, Henry, I'm curious to hear, because you were saying like, OpenSea, some of them are securities. What would make one a security and one not a security, I guess is my question to you. If you're in opinion, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to say because I think they're very loose with what they say. But the Howey test is an investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits from the efforts of others. And I think they try to make a strong argument that that's what a lot of projects are. And that's what a lot of NFTs are.
It does sound like it, to be honest. Like
what's your argument, Henry, that it's not?
Well, I think if you apply it to a lot of projects, it is.
Don't say that.
No. I'm just trying to be like objective about it. I think if you apply it to projects that are marketing on the front end, which a lot of projects did in 2021, marketing on the front end, like buy this, you've got people on the team that are hyping it up. They're tweeting about gains. For that scenario, which a lot of projects in 21 did, how do you argue against that when they pull your tweets? Before you've sold anything, you've not sold anything, and they're pulling your pre-mint marketing tweets showing like, well, you're telling people that this is going to go to the moon, and then they bought it, and it's because of what you're doing that's going to make it go up. No, but I would argue against Dead saying like Pokemon's not a security. People are buying collectible trading cards, and I don't think Pokemon is going out there saying buy this because the price is going to go up. And if they were, that might be a little bit of a different story. By the way, I think art is a different story altogether. I don't see artists out there ever pumping their art like buy this because it's going to 3x or it's going to 4x. You had stoner
Are you
cats
saying-
talking about, you know, sell now, convert to USDC. When the floor dips, buy more. You
Dude,
know,
right in their Discord, right in their
Yeah.
Discord. I think that happened. That's where I'll tell you this: one of the biggest projects that did. It's not the exact same thing, but his tweeted stuff that actually worries me. It's actually Pudgy Penguins, and it kind of pains me to say that, but like Lucas tweeted out there, he thinks NFTs are going back to 100 ETH. Like, people are saying we'll never see that again. Lucas like, no, I think you're wrong. I think we'll see 100. I actually think we'll see 200 ETH, and I think it'll be Pudgy Penguins. And I'm like, ooh, that kind of feels iffy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's right on the line. Maybe that's okay. But I think anytime you talk your NFTs and you start throwing out price predictions for your NFTs, I think it's a really gray area, maybe more than gray.
Yeah, and there's another component to like Pudgies, which is, you know, they have their licensing platform, which is you getting money back. Whether you bought it at mint, whether you bought it on the secondary, you're getting money from licensing it, which is through the efforts of others, which is Pudgy Penguins. By the way, I'm not saying that I agree that those same metrics should be applied to what we're talking about. I'm just saying this is how they're looking at it. And I think they have an argument. I think this is part of the problem that we've all had in Web3 is like, we don't have clear legislation. We don't have clear regulation. So decentralized systems, decentralized protocols like weren't taken into account in the 20s or 30s when these laws were written. And so, you know, Hudah, you said this a while back, like it's the Wild West and everybody thinks that like, because it's the Wild West and it's decentralized, that like nothing's going to happen. I think we're going to see that stuff's going to happen. I don't agree with it. I just think certain projects, certain protocols have a more difficult time. Like, you know, I think they could make a case against OpenSea that they're a money transmitter. I think they can make that.
So you said that like certain projects. So the question would be, because are you saying that once a project says that about the pricing or about, you know, the marketing, then that becomes a security, and only then, like projects that just release their shit, don't say anything, those aren't considered securities? And then on top of that, OpenSea being the distribution of all of those, how is that, like, isn't that bizarre to be like, well, some of these are securities because they've said that, some of them are not, and then why is it my responsibility because there's no actual determination on what you're considering what, and no real guidelines for me to be able to look at and determine that is considered a security until you actually go forward and accuse and establish it? Then how can I be held responsible for distributing securities when I had no idea that it was?
Well, isn't it like, and Henry, I think you're kind of more an expert more in this field, but it's like when you start referencing price.
Yes.
Well,
no.
It's just as working in a project the way you do, it's like it's something I'm sure you got to be mindful of, and it's just you're so close to so many projects. But and again, all of us we work in projects and we're very close to it all. But yeah, I think the moment you start talking price, even just having fun, it means that value of it is in mind, and it's a focal point for you in some way, shape, or form. And I do think that's where it can kind of cross the line. But there's so many other pieces too. I've got some examples maybe with Bored Apes and then other side why they're different. But Henry, what are your thoughts about what Joe was asking?
Do you remember?
Yeah, no, I do remember most of what you were saying, and I think that the SEC. Well, I know, I don't agree with it, but their stance is, come in and register. The laws are out there. You can read them. It's open to some interpretation because keep in mind, this is a gray area. And they've purposely not made it clear, because what they can actually do is go out there and regulation by enforcement. Congress isn't doing shit about it, right? And so they can say like, yeah, hey, Joe, all the info's out there. You just need to follow the rules. Come in and register. You want to register? I think if I understand it correctly, if you want to register, you either file for an exemption with the SEC, or you register with the SEC, in which case you can only sell to accredited investors. Also, along with that comes like KYC AML standards, which nobody in Web3, wants to do. So, like this is the problem. Is like we're in this pioneering emerging market that is just not regulated well, and it's what's going to happen is going to come on the backs of people like OpenSea, Yuga Labs, Impact Theory, Stoner Cats, and anybody else out there who's been, targeted by the SEC. You saw, I think it was with Impact Theory, where the SEC was going after them because of creator fees that they made on secondary sales. And Lemon, like, by the way, moving out of the US is no guarantee of anything, because I know for a fact of projects that have had holders subpoenaed, holders of the project. The project might not be in the US, but holders are. So they're like, what's that?
For what purpose?
To get information, and then ultimately to try to get the project to come to the table. So it's like it's a minefield out there.
So are you saying so? Okay, I think the first question that I had for you, Henry or Hudah, it was, what establishes it as a security in your opinion? I know that's not really anything concrete, but you said the expectation of profit, or so you were saying that, like, if they're in the marketing, have someone saying, "Oh, this is going to the moon," which I'd love to hear someone talk about what the moon is, but is that what makes it a security? Or are you saying it's a security already? They can make the argument that it is regardless of what they're saying, or I'm just kind of trying to get a little clarification on that.
It's like at a simple look, and it gets way more complicated than this. It's the Howey test. Are you familiar with like what Howey was, without getting like super boring? The orange groves in Florida. Anybody? I'll just say it real quick. It was basically in Florida, I think in the 20s, might have been the 30s. Howey was selling orange.
Didn't.
What's that?
I said, of course I know. It's insulting that you thought that I did.
Oh, sorry. I was saying it for the audience, not for you.
Yeah.
Howey was selling orange groves. He was selling the land that the orange groves were on, and he was selling them to investors. And he was telling them, like, listen, I'll tend to the fields. Like, I'll handle it all, and like, we'll have profit sharing. And basically, I think this went to the Supreme Court, and they ruled like, no, like, that's a security. It's an investment of money in a common enterprise, which was like Howey, whatever it was called, with the expectation of profits from the oranges through the efforts of others. Howey. And so at a real basic view, that is like, if you just launched some art on OpenSea or wherever, you can make a real big argument that, like, I just released art. It's all I did. I promise nothing. It's just art. They paid you.
If you sell it compared to just giving it away, does that matter?
It should matter, but I don't know with certainty that it does matter, but it should matter. And I only say I'm not certain because creator fees, and I think this goes back to impact theory, are something that the SEC is really interested in. Yep. Like, if you gave it away, you could have given it away. But like, if you're making creator fees off of these things, and they can just accuse you, like, well, yeah, you gave it away, but you also continued to market it, and you continued to try to build stuff out because you were making money off the creator fees. They
made comments, I think, about those royalties too.
Yeah, they talked about building out ecosystems, and so like, it's almost like they could get you across. They like, if they want to try to go after you, they can go after you. But like, you would think, based on the rules, that if you just sold art and there was nothing more to it, cool. I think once you start exchanging money and prices go up, like, dude, they're not going to give a shit if you sold something for $50 and it was worth $100, and like, no, they're not going after that. They're going after things that are like, look at Yuga Labs, right? Like, they saw those prices going to 125 ETH. But this is their regulation by enforcement. And what sucks is that, like, we can't get anything done in Congress to like get actual laws written that make this clear. Even the stuff that they were proposing, right? Just, what is that? A couple months ago, we were talking about the laws that they wanted to pass when it came to NFTs, because they were more crypto related. When it came to NFTs, they're like, we will appoint a commission to talk about NFTs. It wasn't even clear there. So, yeah, dude, Day of Reckoning isn't here yet. But I'll be curious to see. I think everybody's going to be curious to see what happens with OpenSea.
That's so hard to figure out, to be honest with you. Like, what is this? I know it seems very basic, but like, I'm wondering, like,
yeah,
it seems like anything can kind of be a security depending on what you do with it, I guess.
It's definitely that.
Reed Hester Pierce's dissent for Stoner Cats. So she's one of the SEC commissioners. She's not the chairwoman of it, but she's one of the commissioners. And she had great, like, you can go to Stoner Cat's website where they post her her dissent letter. And she says, like, if this is a security, then Star Wars toys are securities.
Right.
Then Beanie Babies are securities. So like I don't disagree there at all.
At some point, is crowdfunding a security, though? I always thought that certain things, certain types of crowdfunding can be, or yeah, even if not a security, I don't know if there's a if it's distinguished, if it's still investing in some form. You know what I mean?
I think the SEC sees through. By the way, I'm not even saying this in defense of them. I'm just like, again, trying to be like, objective isn't even the right word because I think it all sucks. I think the SEC sees through what they think is the veil that most of Web3 thought we were working under, which is like, oh no, it's art. It's a collectible. And they see it as like, yeah, you can say that, but at its core, you're buying these things. Because, dude, who's built out anything? Like, really? A handful of projects. But for the most part, people are just buying things with the hope that they can sell them for more. And so, you know, that idea of like the expectation of profits, I think.
And then what about where are we with cryptocurrency majors being securities?
Yeah,
we're at what? Bitcoin and ETH are not. I think nowhere beyond that. And Ripple, I don't
like
even.
The fact that we've okayed these ETFs, that they're not securities, correct?
Those couple, right?
Yeah. I think they've said like pretty much that Bitcoin's certainly not. It's a commodity. ETH, it doesn't look like that is. XRP or Ripple. Yeah, that's done. I think everything else is still kind of out there. Oh, and by the way, a lot of it depends on like what happened. Was there an ICO? How did they sell this thing? What were they putting behind it? What were they promising behind the scenes? We've talked about Yuga Labs. Just as an example, like Yuga, who I imagine will fight. I think Yuga will fight if there isn't some seedy shit that was happening behind the scenes. But because I imagine if they settled, that their settlement would be like really high. But if there is seedy shit behind the scenes, I bet they settle. A lot of it depends on what charges the SEC would come with. But like
Yuga's an interesting example too, because I look at Bored Apes and I don't look at them exactly as securities. I don't know what with ApeCoin. I think that's such a weird gray area. I don't know.
They shouldn't have done that. ApeCoin, man.
Probably not. But to me, very, very different. Very different is the other side land. To me, that is selling land with the promise of building a game. To me, almost fits a security. Perfectly.
Seems fraudulent more than it seems like security to me or something. You know what I mean? Like
or introducing a token. And I think all of this, this whole idea that I've seen in Web3 over the past like 18 months to 2 years of like, it's okay. We got like this offshore play. We didn't do the token. Somebody else is doing the token. Doesn't matter, man.
I wish I knew what Paulie thought about it. I wish Paulie was there.
Oh, he had a great Spaces earlier. I know exactly what he thinks.
but I think going back to what I was going to say about Yuga, I think that, like to your point, if the SEC goes to them with the same theory they had with like impact theory, which is like, well, okay, you came out with ApeCoin. Maybe ApeCoin isn't a security, but the Bored Apes are. You were introducing ApeCoin as a way to manipulate the market and push the price of Bored Apes up, because you were making 2.5% on creator fees. I think that's a theory that they would use.
To me, it more seems like targeted success attacks, meaning that like, like anything can kind of like anyone can kind of be like our show, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, it starts to become successful. It gets so successful that it becomes a security or something. You know what I mean? Like there could be an argument made for lots of different things. It's a bad example, but my point.
I like it.
Yeah. My point is, we're a success. But like, my point is that like all of those things could be considered securities, but it also like, they're just pulling it out of their ass once money started to flow in. Once it became popular, that's when they kind of started to go after everybody. And it seems like instead of going after everybody, they should have been trying to set forth guidelines, regulations, and clarity on everything rather than pissing everybody off, suing everybody, and trying to make their money rather than trying to give guidance so we can have less of a clusterfuck going forward. And they're not doing that. That's not what they're doing. They're doing the opposite.
It's funny because it's all under the guise of investor protection, right? Like it's all like, oh, we're protecting investors. But the reality is when they go after these, projects, like who are you protecting? They want disclosures and all kinds of other things, but like, who are you protecting? But you're right. I think they go after bigger people to make an example because it's their best effort to try to bring down the industry, which there's no doubt about it. That's exactly what they're trying to do. But I think we'll see more of this. I was actually surprised about Magic Eden's token launch with ME because I don't know whether they're under investigation or not, but certainly that's something that will be curious to Gary Gensler.
We have to assume everyone's under investigation at this point.
I think, yeah, no, I think so. And like you have people within the SEC that are looking to make careers for themselves. So, most of this stuff happens out of the Southern District of New York. Now, I don't know where this action came out of, but like, you have staff attorneys that are looking to be like, look, I did this, and they're looking for promotion. So,
it's like a seedy underground. It's like that worst kept secret. It's like you visiting the manhole. You know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Anyway, are we keeping on this for a while? Do we want to move on?
Yeah. I mean, it's such a big story. I think we'll keep. Yeah, it's not even just a today thing. This is now a this year thing, and probably well beyond. I think more details come out, and we'll keep updating you guys on it again.
And by the way, like Dad, they haven't lost every lawsuit. I know that's a common. One thing I've noticed is like crypto Twitter is wrong on most of their assumptions about what is actually happening because most people don't know how to read, and that carries through to these long like legal briefings. So no, the SEC has not lost on every lawsuit. They have lost on some. They lost on like 2 out of the 3 points with XRP, so that was a loss. But their goal is not to go to court. Their goal is to extract. So I think we're going to see more of this, and I'm not convinced that they're just going to lose across the board. I hope they do, but keep in mind, like you go to court and you have to hope that you have a judge who is, I don't even want to say proficient, but understanding enough of these type of real complex systems to even be able to like apply the law to this new emerging field. And I think that's a gamble. Look at like, was it Rakoff, Judge Rakoff? Forgot which case he was over, but like not super crypto friendly. Anyway, yeah.
Maybe we can all get jobs. I mean, like honestly, like we know more about crypto than they do, and they know more about law than we do. But we're kind of an equal partnership, I would say.
You would have to give up all of your crypto.
For what?
You can't work at the SEC and own crypto. Is that funny?
Or can I? Just in a secret.
Burner wallet, bro.
Burner wallet, baby.
Just fire, boys.
One last point, and I tweeted this in reply to OpenSea. Like, I think it's nice they set up a $5 million legal fund, but I know of shit behind the scenes, like this idea that they. I'm not gonna go in detail into it, but this idea that they support creators and developers and they're looking out for the small guy, and no, dude. I wrote
$5 million doesn't feel like much.
Shots fired.
I wrote, I got receipts, man. Like the reality is like it's bullshit.
Whoa.
It's like Costco, bro. He's got receipts. Okay.
I got receipts.
You know when you show your receipt at the end, whatever.
Yeah.
Bad example.
Speaking
not
of
our
Costco,
friend.
those fucking Costco guys. Oh, yeah. First off, there's some behind the scenes like blooper kind of shit. That is the weirdest fucking content. It's hard to watch, and also you can't stop watching. It's bonkers. Yeah. They got a live show starting tomorrow, which if it goes live when we're live, we absolutely got to tune in, probably stream a little of it.
We bring the boom.
Can I just make one point unrelated to OpenSea? But
we got them started.
The Adidas, no, nothing to do with that. The Adidas beanie sold out in like
Dude,
a minute.
I heard, yeah, I saw
That's where
that.
we wanted to go. Actually, that's
Sorry, I didn't.
I
mean to
don't even get a
steal
chance to
thunder.
buy these things, dude. This shit's cooking. Let's pull that up.
You should
dude,
have
they-
like
I won't lie. I
a-
didn't buy any of them, even though like I could have. I didn't want to take from a limited supply, so I don't own
Good
any. I'll have to wait till Friday when I think Friday secondary trading would be open. So I got to wait for that to try to grab one.
Dude, what's so cool? I've always operated. Well, no, I can't say always. I have operated like this more and more. The older I get, the more I realize probably the right way to do things. Do things, try things, whatever. And then when you find something that works, you lean into it. You start realizing what direction you go when you find what works. Dude, this is working.
Yeah.
Digital traits that are super fucking affordable really, really works. I love this. I hope you guys are I think you are, but noticing what this is and lean into this direction.
Yeah, they're
it
securities. They're securities.
It was a the past year of the ideating and like how would we roll things out and what would we do and who would we get on board, not knowing like does anybody care, dude. No lie, it's been awesome. It's just been awesome to see the reception to like, oh, it's cool that you could do something fun like this and that people like it. I know I've said that the last 2 days, but it's great to see because it's like it's the simple stuff that works. Sometimes it's the simple things that people want. And I think, talking today and over the course of weeks, like with the team, I've been harping on the idea of like simple.
Yeah. It's sorry, Henry. You just keep on. You're like when you get going, you're like a fucking. You just keep rocking,
cut me
and it's awesome. I just want to jump in. You know what I think you did really well is you tailored it to your community. It's not tailored to like the entire fucking world, and that's pretty cool, and that's probably why it's successful. So that's great.
Yeah. I think like if the community's happy, like that's our supporters. We're still looking at ways to like branch out. And capture an audience outside of our core community, but like some of that shit just takes time. Some of it takes time. So like make your core community happy, keep trying to deliver and see who's next. I mean, the cool thing right now is like we're already working and have been working on the next things. So like a big part of what we were building was the back end of this. So it's just nice to know like that part's done. So the future stuff, has the potential to roll out quicker.
Yeah. Nice, Henry.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the utility vest further on.
Cool shit.
Yeah, I love that one.
So what's the supply on that one and the price?
I think, so there's 150 of these. I think there's 100 of that. And I think it might be $60. Let me look here and see.
And are the wings the rarest, those like digital wings?
Yeah.
Those are cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Again, I love that people are eating this shit up. It makes a lot of sense. I wonder, Joe, if you could picture the Kongs partnering with anybody, like an established brand, even if it's like a Web3 IP, who would you want to see partnered with some traits on a Genkai?
Traits? I heard brands and my head started to go to brands. I'm just going to answer what I thought you asked and not what you actually asked.
That's perfect.
I immediately went to like Supreme or what's that other one? The ape one.
Bape?
Yeah, Bape. I thought Bape would be cool.
We talked with them for a while, honestly, like we did. And, then they did their thing with Hudah. And it was like, oh, dude, that one hurt. We talked with them for months.
You guys are more like, when I think of Bape, I think little edgy, little gritty, little more street sav. And that's Kongs more than it is Hudah. Yuga's like, how, yay, like that sort of vibe, like kind of like friendly, whatever. By the way, I heard, I was listening to another podcast today. I heard chimps. You want to know how many times a day they have sex?
Oh, it's a fuck ton, isn't it?
Guess how many times, if you had to guess.
45.
12.
Like something like 50 some odd times a day they fuck.
Yeah.
50 times a day. So like and the
it's
reason,
like all day.
Yeah, the reason that they did that was someone owned one of these chimps. And like as a child, they were totally cool. But as they got older, I'm assuming the story ends where it's just like fucking everything.
Yeah.
Like you can't naturally fuck 50 times a day and then not expect it to be like completely off their rocker. I don't know how we got here, but
by the way, chimps are getting to be like a super fucking meta popular thing. There's a new Tiger King kind of documentary on HBO. Have you seen?
I was listening to Armchair Expert with Dax, and they were talking about that show. What's it called? Chimp something?
It's like Chimp Love. I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
I'm like halfway through the first episode. We keep losing power. Internet keeps going out, and so I missed the show. Like I'm into it, but like I think there are 2 episodes in this new thing. Again, I think it's from the same people that do, I think Tiger King, and it's that vibe, documentary behind the scenes, and these people who say they love these animals, but they treat them like shit. And they're dangerous. There's like this guy who is working for him, right? And normal dude, well, probably not normal if he's working there. They cut him like a little later in the show, and his nose clearly had been ripped off because it's all stitched back and he's all deformed.
Yeah.
And like that's when I realized what the show was going to be. It's going to be like this fucked up story, and I can't wait to watch.
That's exactly what I was listening to. I didn't see the show, but they were on Armchair Expert. They were talking about it, and then there was a New Yorker article talking about the chimp having like sex 50 times a day. Or
Have you watched Chimp Empire on Netflix?
No.
Does
that have to do with those gorillas? That you guys have worked with, like Virunga National Park?
No. This one is just about chimpanzees. I think they might be in the Congo or in Africa, and it's about like the warring between these families of chimps and their territories. It's super interesting. It's not about humans at all. Yeah, I do. You got to kill the Kong music.
All right.
Henry, who think about who you would? I'd like to hear what brands that Hudah and Henry would want for the Kongs as well.
All right.
You can't tame wild things.
There is this culture of almost entirely women who raise chimpanzees and monkeys as if they're babies.
There is nothing like holding, loving, being around a chimp, especially Tonka. And I'll do anything to protect that primate. Anything. Tonka and I just found each other. It was meant to be. It was just natural. And Tonka loved me as much as I love Tonka. It's like your love for God.
People fall in love with these chimps, and you can't tame wild things.
Do you want these nuggets? Here's your sauce.
I'm just afraid that she might get too caught up in this.
PETA seized the chimps with U.S. Marshal oversight.
Okay, roll film.
The chimpanzee lady now making national news.
A movie star chimp named Tonka and its disappearance.
By the way, where do you think this takes place?
Florida.
Wait, what was that, Henry?
Florida.
Yeah, I think it does. I part of it I think was in Missouri, but I definitely saw Sarasota or some shit during the first episode.
Further on, it's like Kongish.
Yeah, for real.
A Hollywood plot, but no, this is real life.
I keep getting to be the bad guy here, and I'm tired of it.
When you're in love, your brain is out of control. There's chemicals and hormones and things happening to you that makes you irrational.
They're gonna have to bring sheriffs and everything that they can.
I've never seen her that passionate about anything in my life, ever. And that includes her own son.
Adult chimpanzees are incredibly dangerous.
Please, lift your face off! It's insane when you think about it. It's insane.
They can throw me in jail for a year. I don't care. I would give anything that I had possession-wise up for that child. I would give my life for him. Chimps are my whole thing. You can shape them into being you.
I'm really happy about this, man.
How many times did they,
imply that
56.
she has sex? Oh yeah. No, 56 a day, dude. I mean, come on.
No, but like, how many times do you think she just backed up to the cage?
Ooh, I don't wanna think about that.
A lot.
Honestly, like you could do worse if you were a monkey or a chimp. You could do worse. So like they should feel semi-lucky. She's got some big old cans. You know what I mean? So but it's all about selfishness. These people are just too selfish. Like these animals, they should be, happy, like out in the world, in the jungles, having sex with other monkeys and, you know, just doing their thing. They don't want to be in some lady's fucking house in some cage, you know.
Unless he's backing up like 50 times a day.
Still, dude. Still, dude. How many times can you have bone that lady and be happy? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you're done after a couple times. So
yeah.
Kong brands that Kong would want to work with.
Oh,
shit! That's it. That's the next brand for Genkai.
What's that?
Partner with that lady's little
You
foundation.
should. That would be awesome. You should send her a fucking an NFT or something, dude.
But we're gorillas, and she fucks with chimps.
It's true.
Still, I mean, we have to make some. There's some liberties.
We're talking like silverbacks that'll, you know, fucking rip your arms off, almost like one step below a Wookiee. Her thing's like a children's toy. So, you know, partnership, like, you know, there's stuff that we're working on, so I won't talk about those. But like one place, New Era Caps.
Hell yeah.
Their headquarters are in Buffalo. That's definitely somebody that I'm going to approach. I think like
your dream one would be.
I mean, you know, Adidas was high up there. I'm not going to lie. Like that Adidas Physicals is really high up on the list, even though I know that that's been, you know, obviously done.
Disney.
I'd love to see us do something with Red Bull.
That'd be cool.
I'd love to see us do something on the tech side with like Samsung. Honestly, dude, there's a bunch. We have a hit list.
Hudah, who do you think? What do you think would be awesome?
For a big brand, I'd kind of like, I don't know if this counts quite the same. I'd like to see like UFC shit.
Yeah.
Like UFC would be cool as fuck.
We did try to go down that road with Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
Expensive, by the way, very expensive.
Yeah.
What, to like get your shit advertised like at a
like you're not interesting them with much less than like, you know, 8-9 figures.
So you know what I would have done if I was trying to do UFC? I'd go to somebody that was on the outskirts of starting to be a big name in UFC, and then paid them to wear, like, have that be their kind of like, you know, their shtick.
Yeah. 2.5 years ago,
he'd come out and be like, you know, like that type of thing.
We had Kong's Fight Club. So we actually had, it was kind of cool. We had bags made, like, you know, like heavy bags made, gloves. We donated them to some gyms in California. We did a really cool teaser video. Dude, I'm trying to remember who the fighter was because he was a big name. And he did a video. I'll find it.
In the Kongs?
He wasn't in Kongs, but he was friends with Chuck Liddell. He was friends with El Chapo, who's a UFC fighter. He's an MMA fighter, has a lot of connections in the UFC.
That's who I was thinking of, was El Chapo. Okay.
Yeah, so he got the video made, and he had a lot of contacts. And then, you know, when we met Chuck Liddell and we were talking about what could we do with Kong's Fight Club, the hard part is, like, you start thinking of all these things, and then you start thinking of all the costs of all of these things. And because we haven't raised, it's just a very different position. Kong's Fight Club, you know, where we would have like sponsored events where we would rent out a place and you go chill with, you know, Chuck Liddell at a UFC fight, come back to an awesome party. We could have done all that, but it's like super fucking expensive, man. Like one event would probably cost like, you know, $500,000, like one event, and you're not making that much off of it. So you're getting exposure, but it doesn't necessarily result in people like, you know, coming into your project. So honestly, we talked about that this morning. It's one of the things you have to be careful about. Where do you spend your money? Because, like, who are you retaining from whatever marketing effort you're doing? Anyway, don't want to bore you with that kind of stuff. I know we got Polly on the
It was good stuff. Yeah, and we only got a few minutes left, but I do want to mention it. We did this to death, but worth mentioning again. We everybody believes more SEC shit is coming. Polly's, I guarantee, right about this. I guarantee, but he's right. Garga, Gordon, not saying a word about any of this stuff because they are under investigation, as we know, because this was reported on years ago. At this point, 2 years ago.
No, 3. It was like November of 21.
Was it?
Yeah.
Damn. 3 years then. Almost 3 years.
Oh, yeah. No. Am I wrong? November?
I think it's 22.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But 2 years, we're years at this point. We never heard a peep after that because they can't say shit. They can't. When this is happening, you just can't say shit. So don't expect that kind of thing goes away. In fact, they've probably been fighting it. It's probably been a very expensive endeavor for them, and we might actually hear about it soon. I'm assuming that Pauly does have a little inside scoop. He's saying he knows for a fact those charges are coming. He may be right. I'm assuming he's right. It seems to line up with what's happening in the space right now. I think the OpenSea thing is also timed around when stuff's going happening. It's again, expect more of that shit.
Yeah.
So okay. Again, just a few minutes left. Let's hit on maybe the other biggest story. It is Sony, and we're not going to spend any time on this, but just know that the Sony blockchain Sonium testnet went live today. I still think this is. Look, it's kind of boring. It's a tech thing, but I think people are maybe, hopefully not, but underestimating how big this actually might be. Big, like really fucking big. I think this is really, really fucking big for bringing others into this space. Here right now for DGens, there's nothing there for you, but just keep your eyes on Sony and Sonium. I think there's something cool there.
Yeah.
And then we got some details about Abstract. Specifically their wallet. There's no extension. Something like that seems small. I think it matters. Sign in with your socials, fund your wallet in seconds, seamlessly use apps, no installing shit. I do like that. I think Ronin works that way too now. I think that's kind of like a little...
They have an extension.
They do, but I feel like there's something that can pop up on your screen that's not the extension.
You used to be able to log in with socials, but they did away with that, I'm pretty sure. Okay.
I like it. I like moving that direction. I just like that they're thinking of all these little pain points, because all those little pain points add up. They do. They add up into this like not amazing experience. And if they're building out this chain without those little pain points, I think they're going to have a big old win here.
Tell me this just because I don't know. I agree with Awful. I'd rather have self-custody as well. That being said, what's the difference between like this and like Bitski, which has been out for years at this point, where you can log in with your email? It's it's a
maybe nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, truthfully, maybe nothing. It's great to market. You know, they need to start tweeting and announcing stuff, so it just gives them something to tweet. That's not a negative. It's it's a positive. But is it game changing? Is it new? Probably not. But still dig it. I also like, and this is something they mentioned before. I think they'll go more in depth later. But gasless, gas sponsorship. So as in the blockchain itself probably is going to pay for gas fees. I love that. Again, little stuff that adds up. Especially high volume stuff. It will add up, and they'll be paying quite a bit, over time. But the fact that users, I'm picturing Web 2, people who are not here yet, not even having to consider gas to transact is pretty great. So we'll get more details out of them in the next week and a half. I think they've got a Spaces where they really start laying some stuff out for us. But I like what they're cooking over there. So cool little update. What else is happening? Telegram CEO out of prison right now after I can't stop thinking that there's some shit connected.
Tomorrow I saw a really good sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I think it's weird. The timing of that, the timing of the TON blockchain having issues going on almost 24 hours here of just kind of outages. I don't know. Feels weird out there.
I was using a paper coaster, and it made a little smiley face.
Aw.
Saw a really good clip of one of Kamala Harris's economic advisors on CNBC talking about they were pressing the campaign on the unrealized tax on unrealized gains. And like, it was just a really interesting take. The person was like, yeah, it's not novel. You pay real estate taxes based on, like, let's say the value of your home. And they're like, yeah, but that's totally different. There's a use case there. You're paying for school taxes within there. You're paying for services that you're getting from the fire department and the police department. They're like, this is nothing like that. There's no use case out of you taxing people who ultimately, and this was a good point, who ultimately would be taxed on that when they realize the gains. So like, why are you taxing unrealized gains when you have to pay taxes on that anyway? It's not like it's a tax they wouldn't recoup at some point, because when they exit those positions, it's realized gains. So I'll send the clip. It was really
interesting.
Yeah. Really interesting.
Although I did read that Zuckerberg letter, and while there were some definite points to be made as far as like the pressuring of Facebook and the whole laptop thing, I would say that was used as kind of it was kind of used as like ammo against the Democrats, and I don't think it necessarily was. If you read it, I don't think that was the case. So,
Oh, interesting. What? Anything specific there?
no, I mean he made it a point to be like that for neutrality he's not going to donate any money to any parties anymore. That he was trying to give aid to the infrastructure, during that people could vote safely and things like that. But he clearly was saying, that he felt pressured by the Biden administration to take down like things that were having to do with COVID-19, and especially the Hunter laptop story, which they investigated and found out that it wasn't some sort of Russian misinformation thing, and that they regretted, kind of tailoring and taking that stuff down. So that clearly is, I mean, I read things on Twitter being like, this is an attack on the American people's, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, come on, dudes. Like, and I don't like, they ended up not, whatever. So that was my take on that. Don't want to get too far into that, but I would say that it was like, there's points to be made as far as like, the Democrats shouldn't be doing that type of shit, but it wasn't like some egregious thing that I would, be up in arms about. But yeah.
So the point there is fuck the Democrats.
For most people,
I might have heard that wrong.
That's kind of how I heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we phrased it that way kind of yesterday too.
Yeah. Welcome. All right, let's do a little bullish bears. Don't have anything fantastic today. We'll start with, God damn it. Hang on. I lost my screen.
I wanted to put in the thread guy thing.
What was the thread guy thing? The Trump
thread
thing?
guy thing was he found out on Spaces Live that he did not necessarily he spent $25,000 for a dinner with Trump, but it ended up being like not that, like a raffle almost, or like the first 25 people to claim it were the ones that would get the dinner. And so
still kind of think it's engagement farming. I might be wrong, but that's 25 grand for a chance I don't think is right.
I think it might be engagement farming as well. I mean, it's just and good on him. Like, he's trying to create narratives and stories. Like, the only thing I dislike about it is that it's not genuine. Like, there is genuine things to do without kind of being, and we don't know, maybe he's being authentic and these are actual things that happen, but it just seems weird to me.
Yep.
Again.
I fucking agree here. Okay. Shit, did I lose? Hang on. Okay, here we go. Bullish bearish. This isn't even a real bullish bearish, but get our first sneak peek at the Thing from the new Fantastic Four movie. I'm not unhappy about that. I think it looks all right. I think it looks okay. Bullish on the Fantastic Four personally.
Yeah. Marvel doing Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Bullish.
Yeah, I'll go bullish.
Good shit. All right. Today's the 1 year anniversary of the Monument game, right? The Skull of Lucy stuff, Sam Spratt, pretty amazing. Kind of conceptual thing, and also this just incredible fucking digital piece of art. I mean, it was pretty awesome, pretty fucking awesome. This thing sold for what, 700-something thousand in the bear market last year. So I think that's an iconic piece. I feel safe saying that. But bullish on Sam Spratt, the anniversary of the Monument game, all things surrounding. Love it.
Sure, I'll go bullish on it.
It'd be fun to have one of you go bearish on it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go bearish because I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, good for you.
Do you remember this from last year though?
No, like you say it, and I'm like, it rings a vague bell, but no.
Do you remember the Skull of Lucy's? People were paying like a fucking fortune for those things.
They still do pay a fortune.
Yeah.
For them. There's only like a certain amount made, like a very rare amount made, and he gave it to, of course, all the influencers, or they bought it or whatever. But yeah.
Yep.
It's just like very like seven. What's that like art where it's like it shows like the 7 levels of hell or something like that? Like, it's very similar to that style, which I like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. All right, people are fucking disgusting, man. I hate people.
You gonna eat gum off there?
Yeah.
No.
Fucking disgusting.
What?
Yeah. Fuck. Bearish. Yeah, bearish. Fucking nasty.
Yeah, Dante's Inferno. That sounds about right. Yeah, that's fucking nasty, dude. I don't like it. Fucking, it's just so people will do anything, and that's such a bad thing. That's why there's so much awful things that happen right now.
Is that Seattle? Is that gum wall in Seattle? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
I put some gum on there.
What does this do for this person? It's for views?
Yes, that's exactly what it's for.
But like, it's like getting views for being a disgusting piece of shit. It's like getting views for having. You ever see those ones where somebody shits their pants and you can like see the brown stain? This is the equivalent. Like
awful. This is a wall or like a alleyway where it's all chewed up pieces of gum.
Yep. It's not in person. It's more disgusting than on video too. It's really fucking gross. So let's get that off the screen.
Yuck.
We'll end on a real gem here.
Dude,
everybody's fucking tweeting this with the same captions. Like everybody just steals tweets. I guess that's the game. Everybody knows it and it's fine, but pretty cool video. It's real, by the way.
I know what the brand, son. Damn, son. Feel like I'm the man, son. Run up in your house and take your.
Hang on, we'll get copyrighted, so we'll do our music over it.
Non-fungible idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. The non-fungible idiots will live in the dream. We're all on the zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Dude, this is awesome. I only saw a clip of it before. I didn't see the whole thing. It's
That's really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Wow.
It made my day. It made my I saw this earlier. It just made my day. I'm just like, this is so. I'm so not creative that I couldn't ever think to like, to script or what do they call that? Like not moon boards, mood boards, storyboards. Yeah, I could never storyboard this even if I tried. Like you have to be really creative and like witty to just have all those different ideas. I loved it, man. Bullish as fuck. Hey, Ayaz. Yeah, we know, dude. We know about Sony. We don't need 3 messages with 30 emojis each.
Yeah,
But thank you.
Yes,
Thank
come
you.
on, dude. Like if you're gonna do it, like make sure it doesn't seem like spam. Like that's like looks the spammiest shit that you could possibly have, dude.
Yeah. This looks like it's coming out of a North Korean hacker's lab.
Yeah, super chat. You got a super chatter that doesn't fly. In fact, you get a ban. And also we hack that contract. We steal that token. We dump that shit. We FUD it all over the fucking timeline. Super chat
Shit
now,
on
bro.
it.
What was it? What was the last one we had? Like purple something, like some purple. Remember that coin?
Yeah. And somebody did super chat us, and then I banned him after he super chatted. Actually, Henry, I think you might have not been here for one of those. It was.
No, I don't think I was there for that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, if you're gonna spam, drop $5. Come on, dude.
Yeah, come on. Be a.
We're working
decent
hard
human.
here, bro. We're working hard.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, there we go. It's dude, tomorrow's Thursday already. Okay, good shit. The week's flying. NFTs are not. It's all dead again. You're all getting arrested. It is what it is. Guys, thanks for hanging out, for tuning into the fucking show. We love you guys. Joe Henry, a treat like always. An absolute pleasure. Guys, we'll fucking see ya tomorrow. See ya.
We're the non-fungible idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, our anthem we sing.
No, look, you're muted, dude.
I love orbing those guys.
Yeah.
They got orbed hard today. The whole world got orbed today. That's awesome. Viva Fry dude follows Lemon. Thought that was fucking cool. Little bit of trivia. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Anyway, I go to my son's school tonight. Check out his classes, all that fun stuff. My kid's a senior, man. It's a
Senior in
fucking
high
head fuck.
Damn,
Yeah.
dog. Damn.
You know what I did? So I brought my kid to school for the first day. Like the first day was like an hour, half an hour, where you just go into the classroom and like you just kind of like fill out some paperwork and like do like get introductions to the teachers, stuff like that. I had to poop so fucking bad, right? And it's like pre-K, and so like I went up to my wife.
The bathroom's in the classroom.
No, it's not. No, it's not epic. But it's so you go into the hallway. I go out once, and there's just little boys, like 3 to 4 years old. There's just a line of them there, and the door is wide open. I mean, and there's like a little thing there, and it's like it's so close. Everything's so close, and I was like, I can't do that. And I went back in. I waited a couple minutes. I was like to my wife, I was like, I don't know. She's like, go back. Maybe they're done in there. So like I went back out, no one was in there. I fucking closed the door, which I'm assuming like closing the boys' bathroom door in like a pre-K is frowned upon. So like I yanked it out, shut the door, pooped as fast as I possibly could. It was brutal. And then I started thinking to myself, like, can you imagine, like, if my son was older, there's no way I could do that because like his reputation.
Mm-hmm.
The dad pooping in the class.
That's fucked, man. Oh, in the classroom. Shit,
Or like
man.
just being like the dad that makes a disgusting poop. I mean,
Yeah.
so you got
bad.
like I got it out of the way early. So hopefully,
Fucking savage.
yeah, dude.
Fucking sad. So, okay, 2 years, I think 2 years ago, my son got in trouble for fighting at school.
Yeah.
So we had to go to the school to meet with like his principal and like a teacher or two, and then I think there was a cop there. And I wasn't fucking thinking before we went. It was in the morning. And for some fucking reason before that, again, wasn't even thinking I had to go there, just was like, today's gonna be a good day to eat some mushrooms and an edible. And I did. And I didn't think anything of it. It was time to go, and like nothing was fucking clicking. And we get there and we're sitting at the table, and it's like it's quiet. You're in the classroom with like the fucking lights beaming on you and shit. And it just it was so fucking intense. Like I felt like I was a little kid and I was in trouble, and I was trying to keep it cool and shit. Again, like
You're the
cop
one
there.
in trouble.
Yeah, it felt bad. It felt real bad. That was stupid.
Vibes were fucked, bro. You shouldn't be going like even if it's your son's vibes, it's bad vibes.
It's not good. It's not fucking good.
My mom. So I got kicked out. I went to Catholic school, and I got kicked out. Not kicked out, but like I got suspended. So I went to a public school, and like the stories that I heard were like people get stabbed at the school. It was like a prison. It's like when you go up to the toughest guy and you punch him in the face the first day. I'm like, oh shit, super scary. So I was a junior, so I go in junior year, which sucks because everyone's already established. And so first day, you go into your homeroom. I'm sitting there like scared out of my mind. Nobody. I knew like one kid, and he totally dissed me. And I'm sitting in homeroom trying to be cool. I see my mother walk by the door, like walk by, and then I was like, holy fuck, do not come back. She walks back in, goes to the teacher, like whispers something to the teacher, and then like hands her this bag. And then I was like, oh God, just leave and don't say anything. And so the teacher was like, oh, Joe, you must have forgot your lunch or something like that. And I was like, okay. So as my mom's leaving, I'm like, okay, I'm safe. She turns around and she's like, Joey, I love you. And like waves and like takes off. I was like, no.
Fucking brutal.
My mom was wild, dude. She would do the most embarrassing stuff. But yeah.
She told your teacher you had a little dick. She said he has a little micro.
It's not even on topic, bro. I didn't even
Just
know
on his mind a lot.
It's just like, where did that come from, bro?
He says, I don't say it too loud, but these are little wipes for when he makes number one.
Oh yeah.
I think Henry's projecting.
Yeah, he was like, this seems like a good spot to make this joke, and it's not fitting at all. And you're like, okay. Just so happens to be on camera.
Shut up, Joe. Shut up.
Cool shit.
Fuck yeah, man.
Have a great night, boys.
All right, guys.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow.
Love you, fellas. Bye.
Yeah, love you too, man.